Come on, guys, we need to get in here.
Commander down. I really need to talk this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, this is General Anthony, CH Melchett signing back in. And what I'm going to be bringing you here tonight is the behind the gun, the submachine guns of Orchestra 2. I'm going to be putting the different stats up on the screen so we can compare the different guns and evaluate where the strengths and where the weaknesses lie. So I really hope that you're going to be enjoying this, and take a note that this is my opinion. Your opinion might differ from the different guns, but I'm simply going to be showing you the stats and giving my opinion on them. So let's jump straight into it. So the first thing we're going to be taking a look at here is the weight of the different guns. First, we're going to have the MP40 that comes in at 3.97 kilograms. The PPH41 that's going to be coming in at 3.63 kilograms. And the PPS42 that's going to be coming in at 2.95 kilograms. And why does this matter? Of course, this is gonna matter in how fast your characters is gonna be moving. Now we're gonna be moving into the damage. All of these guns do 50 damage per bullet, even though the German gun, the MP40, fires the 9x19 Luger ammo, and both of the Russian guns fire the 7.62 Russian submachine gun or pistol round, you might say. They all do the same amount of damage. Next, we're going to be moving to the rate of fire. This means how fast are the bullets going to be coming out of the gun. Here we have the German submachine gun at 500 rounds a minute. The PPSH-41 comes in at 909 bullets per minute, and the PPS-42 comes in at 650. So these guns are spread out, with the fast one almost coming at 1,000 bullets a minute, and that is pretty insane. And you all know that the PPS-42 is a bullet hose. Now we're gonna be talking about the spread. What this means is how much are the bullets gonna spread out in a bloom by continuous fire. And there the MP40 comes in at 0.0095, and both the Russian guns come in at 0.1. So this means that the German cone of fire is gonna be tighter at the muzzle of the gun. Okay. Let's move into initial bullet speed, and this is very obvious. This is a trend in the Orchestra that the Russian cartridges are smaller and they're going to be moving faster. So the bullet speed of the MP40 is 381 meters per second, and both the Russian guns come in at 488. So a little over 100 meters a second faster. So this kind of punctures that myth that some people have that actually the MP40 is better at range. And it shouldn't be, because of simply, if your bullet is traveling faster, it is easier to hit things at range. And now we're really going to be moving to some of the interesting part here. We're going to be looking at the minimum and maximum vertical movement of the gun. The German MP40 comes in at 65 minimum, 170 maximum. The PPSH41 comes in at 235 minimum and 300 maximum. And then we got the PPSH42 comes in at 200 minimum and 250 maximum. So what does all of this mean? This means how much is this gun going to be moving. And here it's obvious that in fire the MP40 isn't going to be moving as much. You of course have to put this in with the recoil rate, and this is going to decide how much the gun is going to be moving it in sustained fire. And the obvious here, the PPSH-40 one with the higher muzzle, the higher rate of fire is going to be moving more. But if there's something here that is very interesting, you have to have a look at. It is the PPSH 42. It is a very tight gun. It has really a good control of the gun, and that is an interesting point. We're going to come back to that later. Now we're going to be moving in at the minimum and maximum horizontal movement, from side to side. And here the MP40 comes in at 85 minimum and 130 maximum. The PPSH 41 comes in at 85 minimum and 105 maximum. And the PPSH 42 comes in at 75, both maximum and minimum. So this means how much this gun gonna be moving up and down. And here it's obvious that PPSH 42 isn't moving that much up and down. It had a very massive side-to-side movement under fire, but it doesn't up and down. Actually, the MP40 has more movement up and down when you're using it. And again, the PPS 42 comes in very, very solid with a very, very controllable gun. This is showing that the PPS 42 is a very controllable gun. People might not think that, but if you look at the stats here, it has a very smooth movement pattern on your screen, so it's going to be very, very controllable. Now we're going to be moving in to the recoil rate. This is the interesting part. How much is this gun going to kick you around if you just pull down the trigger? And of course, you're going to be multiplying. The more you shoot, the more it stacks up. And that is obvious when you use the PPSH 42, that it just jumps out of control. But the German MP40 comes in at 0.075, and the PPSH 41 comes in at 0.06, and the PPS 42 comes in at 0.09. So what does this mean? This means that actually the PPSH 41 doesn't have that much single bullet recoil. But when you combine that with pulling down the trigger and having a 909 rounds per minute, it's gonna multiply immensely. Again, the MP40 is pretty low here, but it means with the low secret rate, it means that it's gonna be very controllable, but you're gonna have to contend with that low bullet velocity. Again, with the PPSH 42, a lot of recoil. It's a very light gun. It's of course the lightest gun of them all, so you're gonna be moving very fast with the PPSH 42. So there's gonna be more recoil. You're gonna have less mass to contend with actually controlling your recoil. Now, one of the most interesting factors here, blend out rate. That means how fast are your gun gonna be able to get out of the effect of recoil. And the MP40 comes in at 0.45. The PPSH 41 comes in at 0.75, and so does the PPSH 42. So this means in practicality that if you put the pedal to the metal with the MP40, you're gonna be faster, almost twice as fast out of the effect of recoil than you are gonna be with the Russian guns. And that's gonna have an effect if you put the pedal to the metal with the gun. Now we're gonna go to the ballistic coefficient. Again, how slippery is the bullet gonna be through the air? And this is the Russian, MP40 comes in at 0.16, and the Russian guns comes in at 0.116. This is nothing really to notice. The bullet speed is gonna, cancel all of this out, and it's not gonna be very relevant for you guys. At least nothing you gonna be able to notice. Okay, magazine size. Now we're gonna be moving into the magazines. The MP40 starts out with a 32 round magazine, can get that up to double 32 round magazines. We're gonna come back to that later. The PPSH 41 starts with a 35 round magazine, but jumps that up to a 72 round magazine. At the PPSH 42 gets a 30 round magazine, and that is not doesn't have an upgrade for it. So that's where it shows that the PPSH 42 of course have the advantage. Some people like the MP40's dual mag system with a switch. I personally don't, but let's move on to the amount of magazines. The MP40 has six magazines in reserve. The PPSH 42 in the beginning has 6 rounds in reserve, 6 magazines in reserves, but when you get the 72 round drum, you jump that down to 3 mags. The PPS 42 has 6 magazine, but when you get level 50, you jump that up to 8 magazines. Now let's jump on to penetration, and in the Red Orchestra tradition, the German weapons have higher penetration, often because they use a heavier but slower bullet, and this is the case again. The MP40 has a 14.5 penetration power, and both the Russian guns have 12.7, so that is to keep in notice. Now we're gonna jump into something very exciting, the reload times. This is gonna be defined by a short reload and a long reload. The short reload is if you still have bullets left in the chamber, so that's the short reload. The long reload is if you empty the gun out. The MP40 has a short reload of 3.3 seconds and a long reload of 3.5. The PPH 41 has a short reload of 2.9, a long reload of 3.9. The PPSH 42 has a short reload of 2.8 and the long reload of 3.8. So you see here there is often the seconds difference with the Russian guns of the short and the long reload. The German reload is very special here because the MP40 at level 50 has a dual mag and a button you can press, the mag switch button, or whatever, the mag switch you can press, and that takes 0.950 seconds, so just almost a second to switch that over, so you can switch in between the 2 mags there if you're in a pinch. And again, this is very obvious that the PPSH 41 has advantage with the short reload, but a disadvantage with the long reload. The MP40, it's very dodgy there. It's often better with the MP40, I would say, just to go for your backup gun, because that is gonna be a long reload. The MP40 has a long reload. You're standing there with your pants down for 3.3 seconds. That is a long reload. Let's now see if we can draw some sort of conclusion from this. It has been very interesting for me to look at these stats, look at all the different strengths and weaknesses of the weapon, and I'm gonna now shortly cap the strength of the weapons and the weaknesses. The MP40 is gonna be a heavy gun, but you're gonna have a low rate of fire, you're gonna have a close bullet spread, you're gonna have slow bullet velocity though, but you're gonna have a very manageable recoil. So that means you're gonna be able to go easily for headshots in close, like very close and medium. You're gonna be able to have a good hip fire, but you're gonna be having to hit those shots pretty precise. If you miss with the MP40 at the first shots, you're most likely gonna die because you're gonna have such a low bullet speed and you're gonna have such a low rate of fire, so you most likely are going to die. That is the weakness of the MP40. The PPS 41 is gonna be a bullet hose of the other world. You're gonna be firing at 909 rounds per minute. You're gonna have a blistering fast 488 meters a second bullet velocity, but your recoil is gonna be one son of a bitch. So, to say honest, the strength of the PPSH 41 is, the bullet speed. It is the rate of fire. But if you tap fire the PPSH, if you control the fire, it is gonna be a long range beast. You're gonna be able to hit targets, moving targets. You're gonna be able to hit targets at range by tap firing it. And now we're gonna be moving into the most exciting gun, actually the most overlooked gun, the PPS 42. It's gonna be the lightest gun. You're gonna be able to move very fast with this gun. It's gonna have a medium bullet in the rate of fire from a submachine gun. It's gonna have 650 rounds a minute. It's a medium. The spread is gonna be not that good. You're gonna have a fast 488 meters a second bullet speed. You're gonna of course have some sort of vertical recoil, but horizontal recoil is not gonna be that much at 75 and 75. So I really want to declare the PPSH 42 as the most exciting gun in this Behind the Gun episode, because you're gonna have a lot of the attributes of the 2 other guns and not that many of the drawbacks. Of course, you're gonna have a 35 round magazine, but you're still gonna be fast. You're still gonna be able to hit things at distance. So I would say that the PPSH 42 is the gun for the veteran. The guy that both can land headshot the guy that wanna move fast, the engineer that gonna be moving fast, the commander that gonna be moving fast. The PPSH 41 is more gonna be like, you know, the grind gun. You know you're gonna have a lot of targets. You know your speed isn't gonna matter that much. You're a squad leader. You want to defend yourself in a building. The PPS 41 is your go-to gun. If you're more like a headshot specialist, like you would like to land that one shot at medium or close range, shoot them in the head, and really conserve some ammo, the MP40 is your gun. But the MP40 is clearly the weakest gun in this lineup. You're gonna have lesser recoil, you're gonna have lesser muscle climb and all that stuff. It's gonna be more manageable, but your time to kill is gonna be slower if you cannot land the headshot. So that is why it is a preference thing. The MP40 is not gonna give you that many advantages you cannot obtain with the Russian guns. But again, MP40 is a solid choice if that's if that is the gun you like. There is the clear winner in this is of course the PPH 41 because of the blistering bullet speed and the bullet velocity. But again, it's gonna be up to your choice. I really hope you found this video entertaining. I really hope you could use all my advice, and I hope it wasn't too confusing. And guys, if you like this, please leave a comment. What gun do you like? What do you think is the best? So yeah, leave that comment. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you already haven't, and keep an eye out for my live broadcast on YouTube. Give that live broadcast a thumbs up, and yeah, just have a nice evening. And I hope you enjoy this. Bye bye.